You're watching The Breakdown with the fight analyst Garrett Kerman.
And welcome back to another episode of The Breakdown. I'm your host, the fight analyst Garrett Kerman. With me, as always, is my man, Joe Danger himself, Jesse Hobson. What's up, man? How's it going?
Oh, just getting the brooms out, no big deal.
Cha-ching.
Counting this money. Thank you, Garrett. I really much appreciate you.
Anytime, man. Anytime. That's what I'm here for, right?
Yeah. It was we had a good weekend. Oddly enough, the last card was probably a little bit more exciting than the upcoming pay-per-view, but
Which is crazy enough.
Yeah, we do what we can, my man.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad to be back doing the breakdown. We usually do this for every pay-per-view event, and that's why we're back for UFC 275. We also have a special guest that will be joining us very shortly, and Jimmy the Brick Flick. I always love this guy. Love talking to him. I'm glad that he'll be jumping on with us shortly. But yeah, as far as this fight card goes, not the best in terms of star power. That's also because you're in Singapore. We got a lot of newer fighters over in that region hopping on the fight card. Maybe they turn into some bangers. We don't know, but we will. We'll find out this Saturday night.
Yeah, I saw you made an interesting point online. I mean, it is, it has its ups and downs as far as the card goes. But would you cash out shell out the money for this one? Probably not the one you're going to be inviting all the boys to. This is not going to be the one that your friends are hitting you up. This isn't a McGregor weekend, right, per se. Yuri is, I wouldn't exactly say he's a household name yet. Obviously this weekend is going to play a big role in that. But yeah, so anything else?
No, but I mean, we could get right into it because I don't think he's gonna have too much to say on the the prelims here. But let's start off on the prelims in our first fight on the night, which is in the women's featherweight division between Jocelyn Edwards and Ramona Pascual. Right now, the odd is set at -160 for Edwards, and to come back on Pascual's +140. You got in this one?
Both coming off losses, both typically win by KO. I actually like Edwards here. That's my pick. I just feel like she's the overall better fighter. Will I play this? Probably not. But if you must and you want to go Edwards, I would probably bet her at decision at +150. But I'm actually not gonna. I'm probably not even gonna watch this fight. Honestly, probably just gonna sleep in.
But yeah, I feel you on that. It's definitely not a fight that's really gonna move the needle. It's definitely not a fight that I really want to trust my money on either side. It's it's just not it's not there for me. But as far as the intangibles go, I think Edwards is the better fighter. But this fight is at 145 pounds. She's never fought. Edwards has never fought at 145. Ramona's used to 145. I think Ramona, she's very aggressive on the feet. I do think she has some the grappling advantage here. I do think she's bigger. I do think she's stronger as well. So if I were to bet this fight, if I just had free money to just throw out there, I'd probably take Ramona at +140. I would have needed a +200 price tag for me to really go out and bet on Ramona. But I think she has a pretty favorable matchup against a girl that's smaller than her, a girl that's never fought at 145 pounds before. So it just comes down to whether or not she can stay in there and get on the inside and drag this to the mat. That's where I think she could probably win, Yeah. But as far as my people here, we got a shout out to Forrest Daniels. Thanks for joining us. Al Wallace, thank you for being here with us. We appreciate you all here on the breakdown, helping you guys put some money into your pockets. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Yeah, as you were saying.
I like Al's idea here, just betting maybe all 4 underdogs just for fun, maybe put a couple, fivers on it just to make them interesting, because otherwise you won't have really any reason to watch.
Right.
But I guess the final take on this fight is I just feel like Edwards has a little bit more experience.
She does.
And I mean, not even like real experience. I feel like she's just fought the more experienced fighters, higher profile fights, if you can call them that. But yeah, ultimately, I might just do what Al is suggesting here and just bet the underdog just for fun. I mean, you're saying the same thing. You said it off the air as well. I mean, that kind of adds a little bit of a fun element to it. So we shall see.
What up, man?
All right, what up? What up?
What up? And with us, our special guest is here, Jimmy the Brick Flick. How's it going, man? Welcome.
Good, man. I'm trying to see if my service is gonna work. Can y'all hear me good?
Yeah,
good.
Sound good.
Appreciate you coming on, man.
What's up? I can't hear you.
Can you hear us now?
Hang on, man. What the hell? I logged into my Wi-Fi, but it's not working.
No worries, man. We kind of went through the first fight here. I don't know if you hear us, but we went through the first fight, so we don't really need to go through that again. It was it's pretty brutal. Let's put it that way.
Bear with us, guys. We'll get this situated, and then we'll get.
I can't seem to hear worth a crap. Oh, sorry. Motherfucker, man.
No.
There we go. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you perfectly fine.
I don't know why. I mean, I don't know. It's choppy on my end.
Well, you're lagging a little bit, but you're good. Like, we can hear you perfectly fine, so we appreciate you coming on, though.
All right, good. And then let's go for it.
But before we move on with the card, we gotta know how you've been, man. We want to know what you've been up to. How's things going? Post UFC, man.
Yeah, on accident. Post UFC, it's been kind of crazy. It's kind of hard to explain, but I have a third kid right now. Took custody of a little boy, a little nephew of mine. So we'll see how that goes. So I have a third kid. I'm working on my book. I'm hoping my book will come out September or October. Training camps and fighting was a lot easier than this book. So like the detail is insane that I have to have, and I'm trying to pull out and make it happen. And I plan on opening up a gym to teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So,
wow, that's great, man. And
Awesome.
You're one of the guys that would be great to learn from. Is essentially considering what you've accomplished in your career, and then as well as what you did in your UFC debut with that flying triangle. Only one of the few, I think, one of three or one of two in the octagon. I mean, that's pretty crazy in its own right.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I'm one of three to pull off the flying triangle. And I got the record on Tuesday Night Contender for the most submission attempts before submitting an opponent. So I did pretty good, Second fastest LFA win in history with submission, right behind Brandon Royval. So my last three fights were great, and I proved my jiu-jitsu. And that's what I want to do. I want to teach people jiu-jitsu.
I love it, man. I really do. I've always wondered, do you I know you had this long MMA career, and your UFC career was obviously short, but I don't want to say this in a wrong way, but do you kind of regret the decision to kind of hang it up so early in your UFC career?
Yeah, it's hard to explain. I can't really, I was just in and out. I mean, I don't know really how to say it, but I'm hoping the book will explain it. So
I'm looking forward to that, man. Big time.
But I keep losing you, man. I can't hear all of it, man. It's crazy.
We'll get there. Speaking of the book, I know you said you're looking for a September, October release. You're working on a pre-order link. Is there any update on the pre-order link?
No. And I got to see if I can get some headphones because I can't hear, man. I don't know what the deal is. Babe, do you have your headphones? Because I can't. My phone just keeps cutting out or something. Thank you. Let me see if this will work, man, because I am getting irritated with this. I just want to talk to y'all.
The brick live and uncut.
That's for sure.
All right. Let me see if I can hear y'all.
Test. How's it going? Can you hear us?
Man, let's see. Now my cauliflower ears not going to hold them. There we go. Let's see how this goes.
Can you hear us?
No, man. What the heck? I'm turning off my Wi-Fi to see if maybe my Wi-Fi is worse.
It could be, the settings in StreamYard. Who knows?
I think we lost him.
No, he's there. He's just off.
Sure?
Yeah, he's off the. He's off the. I think the application, but we're working here, guys. We're
No, it's all my fault. Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
we're hearing you perfectly fine.
Test,
dude. This is excellent, dude. This is what I've been looking for. So apparently, I pay for Wi-Fi and it's worse than the service. So I don't know.
Hey, it happens.
All right, now I'm here. I can hear everything.
Awesome. Jesse, as you were asking.
Okay, so we were talking about the book. Our September, October release. Are you still working on a pre-order link? Is there any update as to when the pre-order link will go live?
Well, see, that's what I'm working on. I was hoping to have it out by June 24th because I'll be commentating on UFC Fight Pass for the XFN 381 here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And Frank Mir's daughter is going to be fighting on that card. So I get to step in for Frank Mir for a few fights. And I was hoping to have it then. I can't guarantee it, but the way it works is I got to be done with the book to have the pre-order link out because it could take 60 to 90 something days to have it printed to be able to distribute. So that's what's holding up the pre-order link. I have a few kinks in certain chapters that I am fixing and reanalyzing, I guess you could say, you know? So, and it's just got to tell the story, it's called The Brick Wall, The Unbreakable Brick, the brick wall is what I got to build and the unbreakable brick is me. And I got to explain that to y'all, why it makes sense. And it tells my story and hopefully it opens more chapters up. I want to do seminars with my book. And so hopefully within the next month I will have it. And then the next couple months I'll have my gym and I'll have that pre-order link. So if you follow me on social media, at the Brick MMA on Instagram, if you put in thebrickmma.com, it's going to take you straight to Jimmy the Brick Flick, man. So that's where I'm at. And that's I'm on TikTok too, y'all. I'm on TikTok at the Brick MMA. Yes. So I've been breaking down fights now with Flick Picks.
I love it.
Was it always a part of the plan to transition to commentating, or was that something you kind of just fell into?
Man, I just love it. I feel like every time I'm watching fights, I'm commentating. And, you always got them friends who are like, man, you're saying that before the commentators. And so I just didn't think I would look that good in a suit, but that surprised me. And I enjoy it, man. I love it. I got to commentate with Johnny Hendricks. That was pretty cool, man, for smoking guns. So, and then now I get to go over there and commentate for XFN on UFC Fight Pass.
Yeah, and one more thing for me. I mean, obviously, you mentioned you're pretty active on social media. I really enjoy it from an outsider's perspective looking in. It's very interesting. And I saw you had an issue with Oak Creek, Tulsa. So I'm very curious if you have an update, or if you want to just take this opportunity to warn our audience.
So yes, Oak Creek Homes. It is of Tulsa, but they are pretty much all over. I know they're in Texas too. That's where their main branch is. So dealing with the home, everything was good. We signed the papers. We got the house on our land, and when they delivered the house, we could not get inside of it. Nobody had a key. So the next day, we wait. My wife gets the key. We walk into the home, and it's like slanted. You could put a marble on it, and it would roll across the floor. So my wife called the inspector and that had walked around the house and inspected it and said it was fine. And he got rude with my wife, told us that the house was built wrong. So I contacted the lady and she said it was built wrong. And so I contacted the inspector myself because I walked in the house and then he started screaming at me. So I raised my voice back and he hung up on me. And long story short, he came out and he fixed his problem. He admitted he was wrong. And, he was all right. You know, he came out, he admitted his fault. The Oak Creek home kind of yelled at me about it. And then after they found out we were right, we never heard from them. So then I get in my house to turn my sewage on and somebody took a crap in my toilet, man. And like there was no water. So I end up, you know, what are you going to do? You're going to leave it in there? No, I'm going to have to get it out, you know, and it's in my kid's bathroom at that. So I scrub, I get it out. At this point, I don't want to deal with Tulsa no more. So I reach out to Texas Corporation. I call, I leave messages. Finally, I hear back from them. I send them pictures. I send them video explaining it, showing them, you know. And she's like, sir, I can't explain how that got there. And I'm like, shit, man, me either, you know.
There's one way.
And I was like, but I didn't shit in my brand new 2020 home without fucking water. So I'm like getting mad and stuff. And then she sends me a message back and tells me, well, sir, with my research in the cleaning products from Walmart, it looks like I can send you a $25 gift card to cover the cost. And I was like, you know what, ma'am, I'll just go to social media. And if I can get one person to not buy a home from you, that'll make me happier than a $25 gift card. So, yeah. And they still got to come fix my home. That's on the contract. They had to get it level. That's kind of on the contract. But I didn't know the shit was. So that's what threw me off. And what really made me mad is they posted a picture of me and my wife. And then in the comments, they were like, what'd they say? Like the man, the myth, the legend, or something like that. And I'm like, don't refer to me like that and then treat me like crap, you know, literally, you know.
Yeah.
So
well, excellent. I'm actually based just north of Houston, so if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. I also live on the lake, and I know that you have an issue with wearing sunscreen. Apparently, how are your thighs?
Well, I've been married for the last 10 years, and anytime I go out, she takes care of me. And this time she didn't go out, and I didn't go out till 3 p.m. in my defense. And we parked in the shade, and we were literally parked in a cove with the shade. And I was sitting there drinking beer. I didn't get in the water. I just literally sat there for about 4 hours, and apparently nothing else got burnt besides really my legs. My arms weren't that bad, but my legs were on fire for like 3 days.
Well, I'm glad to see that you recovered.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could ask questions all day. Obviously, you know, we have a fairly good rapport. I'm very interested on what you think about these fights. Right. So Garrett, do you have anything you want to mention before we move on?
Let's jump right into these fights. People are here for you, Mr. Flick, to make them money, because you have this, you know, you have the expertise. We want you here to help our viewers make some money. So we're going to jump into our second fight, because we already went through the first fight. We don't need to go back to it. So we'll move on to our next fight in the women's strawweight division between Na Liang, I think, and Savannah Gomez Juarez. Right now, the line is set at Juarez minus 145 and Na at plus 125. What do you got, Mr. Flick?
Man, I didn't know the odds. I usually don't look at the odds until like closer to the fight. Juarez is 3-2 in her last fights. She's been subbed twice. She lost a decision, and then she even retired on the stool in one fight, meaning I guess she got too tired or something. So that's her 4 losses. And Lang, I mean, she's 19-5. You can't really say much about her opponents. They're all over the place record wise. She is 5-1 in her last 6. And what I do like about her is she has 12 wins by submission out of her 19 wins. So I'm going to probably pick Lang in this one by submission.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. Silvana on a 2-fight losing skid, both losing by sub. Like you said, Liang has the 10 sub wins. Not rocket science. However, Nas lost to Carnelossi is the only thing that worries me a little bit. But
Yes.
if Na does win, she's winning by sub, and that's plus 200. And
Right.
I think that that's the play to make.
Yep, I agree with all you're saying. I actually took Na by submission. I think yesterday I put it at plus 200. Juarez, she just gets subbed. That's just what she does. She got, granted her first fight was against Lupi, hard fight. I get it, but then you go against Vanessa Demopoulos, you floor her. You jump into her guard, knowing she's as good as she is with her submissions off her back, especially with arm bars that you just got caught with in your previous fight. And you punched her, and then she just fell on the floor, and then she fell into an arm bar, like just like that.
Yeah.
And then I feel like with Na, even though she got ground and pound against Carnelossi, who's super tough in her own right, Na looked really good in the first round. She took her down. She had top control, and she just looked really good. She's very strong, and I feel like Juarez's takedown defense is not good, and I expect her to take her down and get the submission at some point probably in the first round. And I think we're getting good value at plus 200 on her by submission. I think it's worth the stab.
Yeah, I just think it has something to do with a lesser known fighter. Maybe the odds, going one way or the other, less recognizable, maybe. But yeah, I don't see it playing out any other way.
Right. I got you, because like Juarez definitely has the stand up advantages, but on the mat now has the advantages. So pretty much whoever gets whoever the advantage is pretty much is going to win there. All right, so let's keep it moving. Our next fight up is in the bantamweight division between Bakary Dana and Kyung Ho Kang. Right now, Dana is plus 140. Kang minus 140 for Dana.
Yeah.
Plus 120 for Kang. Who do you got, Flick?
All right. The only thing I like about Kane is that he's actually, he's not that bad. He's well rounded. He is 6-3-1 in the UFC. That's 10 fights in the UFC, and that's not a bad record. All of his losses are by decision as well. So he's a tough dude. But his opponent is 12-3. His last loss was to Chris Gutierrez, and I know that guy pretty good, so. I like Chris, man, and I just love what this guy brings to the table. He is only 3-2 in the UFC, but all 3 of his wins are by knockout. So I don't think he gets the knockout, to be honest, as much as I'd like to see it. I think he gets the decision and wins all 3 rounds.
Yeah, to me, this is like a coin flip fight. Both guys are super durable, but I do like the plus money with Kang. That's really the only driving factor behind me playing Kang, is because I Gutierrez kind of laid out how to beat Batagral, or however you say it. So if Kang can attack the legs, throw elbows every now and then, I think that he can kind of get a decision. Even though Kang does typically lose the decision, that's really just it. I just feel like it's a coin flip. Both guys are durable. I feel like we're going to get a split decision here, and hopefully, especially the way things have been going as of late, I just hope that the odds are in my favor.
Yeah, I'm taking Kang as well. Plus, I think I got him at plus 130 earlier in the week. The thing is, I think Kang is more, like you said, more well-rounded than Dana. Dana's going to come out, fast. He's going to come out furious in the first round. He's going to be looking for the knockout. Kang is extremely durable. I don't believe he's been stopped due to strikes. Definitely not in the UFC.
No.
And in the takedowns are going to be there. We've seen Dana in his first fight. He got taken down numerous times. He got controlled, and I kind of see the same thing going down here, especially after that first round when Dana decides to start slowing down, because the more he comes forward, the more he throws. Eventually, that gas tank's going to go, especially when he has to defend takedowns, especially against a guy that's really good on top control, top pressure. And we're gonna get a close decision, like it always happens. But I think he finally pulls out the decision win and catches as an underdog. All right, moving on. We got a next fight up in the welterweight division between Andre Fiallo and Jake Matthews. Right now, Fiallo minus 140 to come back on Matthews plus 120. Flick, who you got?
Man, dude, I feel like this is like one of the toughest fights on the card. I know how you follow Jake Matthews. I've seen your betting on Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews is 17-5. I mean, he lost to Brady in the third round. I don't remember how the other rounds went, but I know he got submitted by Brady. Before that, he was on a 3-fight winning streak. He's been finished 4 times in the UFC with a 10-5 record. So I like his durability. But I love Andre, dude. This dude has been a killer. His only loss is the Michael Pereira. He's 6-1 in his last 7. Dude, only finished twice. He's only been finished twice in his career, dude. So I'm thinking we're going to see another decision here. And if Jake's plus money, I say play Jake. But that's a tough one for me, man. I think it's going to hit the decision for sure.
Yeah, we have a similar mindset here. My pick is Jake. My play is Jake by decision. Hear me out. Most of Jake's losses are by sub, and I really don't think Andre is a huge threat there. Jake has nearly as many decisions as he does subs, so I feel like ultimately he's just going to try to bully Andre into a decision, and ultimately we can cash the plus 220. Also, I mean, I like Matthew straight up too, because if he does get the sub, then I mean we're still cashing plus money.
Yeah, it's just like you guys said, this is a tough fight. It's really hard to know who you're gonna, what kind of Jake Matthews is gonna get. Is he gonna come in there? Is he gonna go for takedowns, or is he gonna go in there and try to stand and bang? We really don't know. I kind of want to see the feeling out process. I kind of want to make a live bet on this fight to see if Matthews is going to go the route of taking this fight to the mat relentlessly, because he went against Diego Sanchez. He was standing and trading, but then against Diego Sanchez, did the same thing. Did the same thing against Sean Brady. He wanted to stand and bang. But the thing is, also his 3 wins before Brady were Diego Sanchez, Amir Weber Meek, and Rostam Akhman. All 3 guys not in the UFC anymore. And then he's lost to Anthony Rocco Martin. Not the greatest loss. Sean Brady. That's a good loss there. But I don't know, man. I think Fiallo he's got the higher ceiling right now. We have not seen him really defend takedowns yet in his UFC tenure because it's short-lived at the moment. And it's gonna be one of those fights. It's a wait and see for me. It's a live betting opportunity. I don't think Fiallo knocks him out, but there's a possibility he could win a decision here. I feel like he could defend the takedowns. He could get up. I mean, he trains at Sanford MMA, so he's relentlessly training grappling over there with the crazy wrestlers they got over there, plethora of high-level athletes. So I don't know, man. I think this could be the coming out party for Fiallo because this is arguably his toughest matchup outside of Michel Pereira. And, with Michel Pereira, he has a different type of fighting style that's really hard to really, game plan against, especially on short notice because he took that fight on a couple of days' notice. So I feel like he doesn't have a full camper here against him, but he knows what Jake Matthews is going to do. He's a decent striker on the feet, and he's a grappler. So I think it's somebody that Fiallo can really showcase his skills against and show that he's really a threat in the 170-pound division. So we'll see. My pick would probably be Fiallo, but it's a wait and see approach, live betting scenario for me. All right, next up we got a fight at 155 pounds between, I can't pronounce his name, Mahashate, maybe, and Steve Garcia. Right now, the line is set at Garcia is minus 180, and the comeback on Mahashate plus 155. Mr. Jimmy Flick, who do you got?
All right. Well, I'll give you a breakdown of the guy that we can't pronounce his name. he's 6-1 and he's on a 6-fight win streak. But here, I'm gonna break down his opponent's records. His opponent he lost to is 0-1-1 when he lost. His first win was 10-12, 0-0, 0-2, 10-15-1, 0-2, and his only good win to get into the UFC on the Tuesday Night Contender was against a 7-0 opponent. So when I'm looking at him, that's what I see. So when I look over at Steve Garcia, this guy's 12-4. He's 5-1 in his last 6 fights, 4 wins by knockout or TKO. He's only been finished once in his career, and I think he's got a home at 155. He was a big 145er. I like the pressure he brings. He loves to finish, and he loves to throw in volume, and I like him by knockout, TKO, finish.
So the only concern I have is that Steve Garcia almost got finished by Charlie Ontiveros.
Not just only finished, he almost got finished via axe kick.
Yeah,
as well.
Well, not only that, I mean, he followed up with a couple punches. I know Charlie. Charlie is not a puncher. He's a BJJ guy.
Black belt,
yeah. And so, I mean, yeah, I had money on Charlie in that fight, and I was counting those winnings before the fight was over. Depending on if this Machete guy, is a fraud or not, the record. I mean, yeah, that's a red flag. But you said, he is from Tuesday Night Contender Series. He is hungry. I could see him coming in there and going wild on this kid, going wild on Garcia. I probably am not going to play anything. I guess my biggest takeaway from this is I don't see it going to the scorecards. And so if there was like a bet for either one of the guys, inside the distance, I'd probably take that. I have Machete TKO plus 260, but that's just based off of the fact that Ontiveros almost got him out of round 1. I'd still take Ontiveros again. So maybe I just have I just don't like Garcia because of what he did to my boy. But moving on.
Yeah, this fight is definitely I don't really want money on unless I'm getting a bigger plus money on Machete. I'm gonna call him Machete. Even though that's cooler. Even though that's not really his name, but
it's like Steve Garcia, like the most normal name,
right?
And then like this octagon, this crazy ass name, Machete. Let's just do it.
But the thing is, like, he's not truly a 155er. I mean, this is a guy that tried to fight at 135 pounds against Desmond Torres on the Contender Series and missed weight horribly. Then he tried to fight at 145, missed weight horribly there. So then he had to go to 155 pounds. So here we are. He's, I think, 1-1 at 155 pounds. Because I think he fought Pena at 155. Yeah, he did. 155. So it was 1-1. And like you said, he almost got finished against Charlie Ontiveros, who's not in the UFC anymore. Not good there. And then with Machete, he looked good in the Contender Series fight. He was a huge underdog. He got clipped numerous times in the first round, but he was able to battle his way back, face the adversity, and came on strong in the later portions of that fight. He's got some pretty good striking. Thing is, his striking defense is not good. He leaves his head up. He gets hit a ton, but I don't know if Steve Garcia is the one to really take advantage of that. And we've seen against the Ontiveros fight, he had to take him down numerous times and beat him on the mat to get the win. And we'll see from the guys that he's finished are nobody at 155 pounds on the feet, no more or less. He's fighting. I mean, Desmond Torres is 135 pounds. And he knocked him out, and he was easily like 6 inches taller than him with like a 63 advantage. It was kind of ridiculous for him to even think he could make 135. But I don't know, man. It's a hard fight. I would need more plus money on Machete. I would love a plus 200 price tag. Maybe even plus 180. I would take a stab. But minus 180 on Steve Garcia is absolutely absurd. I don't think he should be minus 180 against anybody, even against a guy that's 6-1. And Jimmy, I really wanted your take on this because this is over in Singapore, right? And they're gonna be on East Coast time. So now you're talking the prelims are going to be around what, 3 a.m. Early prelims are going to be at 3 a.m. Singapore time. Do you think, guys that are fighting that are from that region, like, Machete, do you think he has an advantage over somebody like Steve Garcia, who's over here in Central Standard Time?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, to be honest, that they were fighting over there. And when I was looking it up, that kind of explains why there was so many fighters, from over there,
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it could affect them. It's just like when we go and fight with the altitude, if you don't train for it, it can affect you. And I imagine sleep and long travel can as well. I've never had to do it, so I can't really say, but I think the first round's really going to tell. You might be able to get some live money in on this one.
That's
I
true.
like it.
Yeah, I just wanted your take because obviously you've traveled to other regions, around the country as so, and maybe not over in Singapore, but something I feel like we should take into consideration when we're looking into guys that are actually from Singapore, from that type of region. I feel like they might have a little bit of advantage because they already know coming in the schedule that they should be on. Some of these guys, maybe they're acclimated, maybe they're not. I know a lot of them are already out there. They've been out there probably for a week or so already, but who knows? Maybe they're acclimated, maybe they're not. But we'll see come fight time, because they're gonna be fighting super freaking early. I mean, you're talking about guys they're gonna be on the graveyard shift essentially, because they're getting ready for their fights at like midnight over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane, dude. And I can't say, like I said, I've never had to do that. The earliest I ever fought was noon, though. Fought like noon in Las Vegas. That was kind of weird.
Yeah. I don't even like waking up to pee at 3 a.m. I can't imagine like fighting at 3 a.m.
Right?
Man,
unless I have to.
I just hold that shit in. I'll get it in the morning.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, moving on. Our next fight up is in 145 pounds between Seung-Woo Choi and Joshua Kulabau. Right now, the odds set at Choi's minus 235. Come back on Kulabau plus 190. Flick, what you got?
Well, I was looking it up. Chu is like 3-3 in his last 6 fights. He had 2 good wins before he lost to Alex Karalexis in his last fight. He had a win over Julian and Zaul, however you say his name. So he looks well-rounded. He's lost twice by submission, once by decision, and once by knockout. His opponent, Joshua, man, I looked him up, dude. And I like this guy, dude. Just by looking him up, he lost to Julian Turner, which is not a bad loss. And he had a draw with Jourdain. And what did it say here? And then his last fight, he beat an opponent that had a record of 35 wins and 9 losses. So, and he's got 6 wins by knockout of his 9 wins. I kind of like Joshua in this fight.
Yeah, I feel like this fight is a lot closer than the odds are making it out to be. I don't have Joshua, unfortunately, but I think that Choi has to come in with the mindset to fight at range, because he does have the length and he has to work it. If he doesn't, he will lose, because he makes poor decisions in the octagon quite often. So as long as he keeps focused, I really see him winning this by decision. I won't be playing this because the odds are way out there, based on the fact that I do think that this is a much closer fight than the odds indicate. But Choi, keep the right game plan, fight at distance, and then ultimately cruise to a decision.
Yeah, I got Choi in this one too. I think he's the better striker of the two, and these guys are gonna stand there and trade in the center. I think he's more technically sound. I think he's better defensively sound on the feet as well. And it comes down to whether or not he could defend any type of takedowns that Kulabau throws his way. But then again, Kulabau tried to take down Jourdain, who doesn't have really good takedown defense, and failed miserably. So that bodes well for Choi to keep this fight on the feet, where I do think he has a pretty good advantage, speed-wise, power-wise, and just more technically sound. And if he didn't, he beat Caceres in that first round pretty handily until he gave up his back against the fence and got choked out. he would be 3-0 in his last 3 fights against decent competition. The guys that he's lost to are very experienced, very good 145-pound fighters. So, and I don't think Kalibala is on the level of Alex Caceres, on the level of Movsar Evloev, and I forgot who else he lost to, but and I think Gavin Tucker. I don't think he's on the level of either one of those three, not yet. And I mean, Kalibala's got some power. We've seen it in the Jourdain fight, but Jourdain gets hit a ton. Yeah. So, Choi doesn't really get hit a ton. I got Choi winning this fight. I don't like the -235 price tag, but I might throw him in a little bit of a parlay.
It has came down a bit. It was almost 300, so that's nice to hear. But it also scares me because, like, what are they seeing that I'm not seeing?
It's just people. It's just people betting here and there. You know what I mean? I mean, it's where money goes is where where the line's gonna settle at.
Probably Jimmy brings down that line.
I just thought his last 3 fights looked good, man. So but he broke down Choi so good. I almost second guessed myself there at the end.
Well, I think that this might be another one of those ones that goes to a split decision.
It's gonna be a close fight.
At worst case scenario, you can just message Garrett after the fact and talk some shit. That's what I do.
Oh, just like the Tony Gravely fight, right? Like last week.
Oh yeah, I was way off. Dude, what sucks though is it happens so quick, so I can't even argue or nothing. It's just like you didn't even give me an argument point. I'm like, dang, man.
Yeah, I was very impressed with Gravely there. I was like, this kid's got it, man. But we'll see what goes on for him. But moving on. And our next fight up is in the middleweight division between Brendan Allen and Jacob Malkoun. Brendan Allen's a -305 favorite in the comeback on Malkoun, +240. Who do you got, Flick?
Man, I've been a fan of Brendan Allen for a long time. The guy is well-rounded. He brings the fight. He's 6-2 in the UFC, 4-1 in his last 5. I mean, he even did a grappling match and just won and beat Chico or some black belt in a grappling match on UFC Fight Pass. He's 18-5 overall. His opponent, Jacob, 6-1. He's 2-1 in the UFC. He's won his last 2 fights by decision. He got knocked out in 18 seconds by old Phil Haas. So it's hard to say if Allen gets the finish, but I'll be picking Allen all the way. And I do think he gets it done inside the distance. The guy's good at jiu-jitsu, and he's good at keeping the pressure up. I believe he just finished Sam Alvey in his last fight. That doesn't say much, I know. But still, I like Brendan Allen.
Yeah, I'm going to keep this short. I agree with everything you're saying. I think Allen has the stamina to last. This other guy, Malkoun, I saw him live in Houston at UFC 297. He barely made it all 3 rounds. It was with AJ Dobson. Horrible fight, boring, slow. I just have a bad taste in my mouth. I'm going to be betting against this guy just out of spite. I don't care about the odds. I also love Brendan Allen. I think he's going to roll here, and I think that this is ultimately going to be a showcase fight for him. I think he'll get the sub +180. I'll take it all day.
Yeah, it's I think Allen should probably win this fight. I don't like the odds -305. He probably will look like a -500 favorite, but it's just like I don't like betting Allen at -305 when he got deaded by Chris Curtis, who came in on short notice, against him. That kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. But I do think he eventually gets it done. Malkoun, he's not the best striker. He's not the best grappler. I know he's done some ADC. I think he's won some ADCC tournaments. So he's got some decent jiu-jitsu, but he hasn't showcased it when he gets it to the mat. When he gets it to the mat, he's just all about control and just keeping his opponent there. And that's pretty much what he did against Dobson. And I don't think he's going to be able to do that at all against Allen. So I got Allen rolling in this one. I kind of like to parlay him with Sungwoo Choi. That brings it down to -112. That's not a bad double up there. I think you get, a little bit of -112 between those two on a 2-team parlay. Not bad. I kind of like that. But let's keep it moving. We're on to our main card right now. First fight on the main card is at 170 pounds, I believe. Between Ramazan Amib and Jack Della Maddalena. Right now, Maddalena minus 160. Come back on a Amib plus 140. Who do you got, my man, Flick?
Man, this Jack dude, he's on an 11 fight win streak. Lost his first 2 fights by KO and has won his last 11 since. He won on the Tuesday Night Contender by decision. He's 1-0 in the UFC. Got 9 TKOs all overall. Man, and then his opponent, Amib, I don't know, man. He's 2-2 in his last 4. All 4 of his fights, win or lose, are by decision. He's only been knocked out once and subbed once out of all of his fights. So, I mean, they always make it tough. And sometimes, I mean, I don't think playing in meme by decision is a bad play. So, but I do think Jack's going to win the fight, him being on an 11 fight win streak. I just don't know much about his wrestling. So, like I said, he's got 11 fight win streak with 9 knockouts. So, I think that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't know enough about this guy. I will be playing him though, just because the more I dug, the more I became impressed. I mean, he's on a tear, and I don't think the train stops here. He's 10 years younger, slightly bigger, wins early. Amib went to decision with Danny Roberts and lost.
Yeah.
And lost. So yeah, I just feel like at this fight right here, these are two fighters going in 2 different directions in their career, and I'd be willing to risk it for Jack, just because he has a cool like name, Della Mandela. Like it's legit. There's no nickname needed. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, this fight I think is going to be exciting, and I hope it lives up to it. And my play is Jack.
Yeah, I got Jack too. I got him earlier in the week at minus 130. Minus 160 is a little steep considering he's only 1-0 in the UFC. He's still fairly new. He fought a guy that shouldn't have been in the UFC, Pete Rodriguez, and absolutely deaded him. He's going against a guy that's got about almost 3 times the amount of experience in the Meave. And, there's still unknowns about, Jack's takedown defense. He got taken down by Angelusa, which is not a great thing to hear coming into this fight, but the intangibles go. He wins his fight every single moment it's on the feet. So he's got to keep it there. We'll see what he's made of. But if you also think about it, the only reason why Dana put this fight on the main card is because of Jack Della Maddalena. We don't want to see Ramazan Amib on the main card. It's like what I did last week with Lucas Almeida. Do you really think a guy that's making his debut, who lost in the Contender Series, came in as, the featured bout on the main card for a reason, because they knew of the fireworks, just like Jack. They know he's all fireworks. They know he's going to come forward. He's going to throw down, win or lose. And they're really hoping he wins, to be honest with you, because he's a guy that everybody likes. He's super likable. He's a down-to-earth guy. He does great interviews. He's got finishing abilities. He's got that much higher ceiling than Amib, who's, he's a grinder. He throws leg kicks. He's super technical, but he's a boring fighter. No one really wants to see him in there. Let's be honest. I mean, he's a decision machine, win or lose. Yeah. So they want to pair him against a guy that they kind of want to get him out of the UFC, and they're kind of hoping he does. So I'm kind of siding with the young buck here, the guy that's fresh, the guy that's got the higher ceiling, and I'm taking Jack, and hopefully he cashes out for me. All right, moving on to the flyweight division. We got a fight between Manel Kape and Rogerio Bontorin. Right now, Kape minus 235. The comeback on Bontorin plus 190. Flick, who do you got?
All right. What'd you say his last name is? I thought it was Rogerio.
It's Rogerio Bontorin and Manel Kape.
Yeah. And I call him Cape, so
yeah, me too.
They're probably gonna be mad that I don't fight in the UFC no more. Well, Rogerio, like I said, that's what I got. 17-4. He's 3-3 in the UFC, and I mean, I don't know. I just don't really like him. I mean, so and then Cape, I do like. I think he's had the toughest fights in the UFC. He's had close decisions. He's on a 2-fight win streak, both by knockout. He's only been subbed 1 time in his career. He lost a bad split decision, in my opinion, on one of his fights. I forgot who it was to, but I thought he won that. Oh, Nicholas. You
Yeah.
Yeah,
know, I
Yeah, I think it was Nikolai, right?
yeah,
Wasn't it?
yeah, that was a bad decision in my opinion. His last 5 wins have been by knockout or TKO, and I'm picking him by knockout. I think he gets it done inside the distance. I think he can defend the takedowns, and he's going to knock him out.
Yeah, something like went off in his head. He's like, I'm not allowing my fights to go to decision anymore. And then once he made that conscious choice to do that, basically his entire career turned around. He's got his footing. He has a game plan, and if he sticks to it, I think we're going to get more of the same here. He's bigger, and I think that that'll ultimately make the difference. Like kind of like you said, Bontarine coming off 3 losses and 1 no contest. I like Cape or whatever the hell his name is. I like him, and I'm a fan. I was a fan of his before he got to the UFC, and I'm still his fan, and I'm still gonna keep betting him. Just hope he quits going to these decisions, because as long as we don't go to a decision, then I am counting my money. As long as I'm, yeah, whatever. Let's count the money.
Yeah, I got Manel Cop as well. He's actually my most confident bet on the entire card because, I mean, Rogerio
That's
has
on my
one.
lock.
Yeah, he's got one way to win, and that's taking him down, getting his back, and trying to choke him out. That's literally the only way, because on the feet he has absolutely no chance at all of winning this fight. Cop is way too explosive, way too powerful, and he's just not. He's going to overwhelm him, just like he did against Zolga Zumagulov. And like you said, he should have won that Nikolai fight. He fought Pantoja in his debut. That's how high they thought of him. They gave him a title contender immediately. You know what I mean? He was a rising flyweight champion, fighting great competition over there as well, like Asakura. I think he didn't even fight.
His only loss by submission is to Henny Aoki, or however you say his name. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Korean, the Bellator champ, or was Bellator champ.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So he's only fighting elite competition, and Bontarine's not on that level. He's really not at all.
Well,
and I'm not a fan of Bontarine either. Let's be honest, I'm really not. I'm not a fan of his style of fighting. He's not great on the feet. He's good on the mat, and even there, you could beat him there too. And I just don't think his wrestling is good enough to get Cop down and keep him there. I think Cop goes in there, starches his ass, gets him out of there, and then Bontarine probably gets cut. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah, he's got to make weight too. I know he has a hard time making weight, and his cardio. If he doesn't get it, he will just plummet out of nowhere just immediately.
Yep, I agree big time. All right, next up in our featured bout on the main card, we have a fight in the women's strawweight division, a rematch between Zhang Weili and Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Right now, Weili minus 165 to come back on Jędrzejczyk. Joanna JJ plus 145. Jimmy, who do you got?
Man, I mean, I love Weili, man. I think she's a great fighter. I love watching her training videos. About one of the very few women I think that could outwork me on the. But dude, the woman is a beast, dude. I mean, she's 21-3. We know who she's lost to, and she beat JJ. Last time they fought, JJ hasn't fought since she lost to her. And I just think that's so weird. And I know she wants it, but she's 2-4 in her last 6. And I just can't play it. And also, Weili's over there training with Henry Cejudo. She said she would be dumb not to mix in her wrestling. So I think she's going to use her wrestling. And it's only 3 rounds this time. It's not 5 rounds. So she don't have to beat on Joanna for 5 rounds. So I see her winning an easy 3-round decision.
So the only argument I have is that Weili hasn't really looked the same since their last meetup. Like coming off 2 losses, obviously to Rose, and JJ has had all that time to think about the loss and like what she can do to improve. To me, this is still a coin flip fight, and I like the plus money. And I mean, obviously, I love the plus money, but there's still a lot of questions because, as you mentioned, JJ hasn't fought since then. So I'm hoping for a close split decision win for JJ at plus 140, or somehow she knocks her out in round one. I don't see obviously a head kick coming, but who knows? Maybe she starches her because Rose did hurt her, and maybe that's wearing on her body. Obviously, that fight wore on them both the last time they met up, but yeah, I just think that maybe it had a little lasting effect on Wei Li.
Yeah, I'm taking a shot on Joanna. I mean, she hasn't fought in a while. That means she hasn't taken any damage. That means she's been fresh. That means she's just been, doing what she wants to do in and out of training. I know she's been helping a lot of people with their training camps, especially all the girls down there. She's pretty much one of the head honchos in the gyms when it comes to, training with the females. I think she helped Carolina Kovacevic in her last fight, and Carolina also helped her get ready for Zhang Weili. So I know she's been getting in the work. I know she's been staying active in the gym. And, the first fight could have gone either way. A lot of people thought Joanna won that fight. And I feel like it's going to be another extremely close battle between the two. I do think Weili is going to attempt more takedowns this fight. I don't think they're going to just stand and trade in the center anymore. I think Joanna's also going to use a lot more movement this time, too. I don't think she's going to be so flat-footed, so willing to engage in the pocket in this fight. So we'll see how it goes. But man, I can't fathom not taking Joanna at plus 145 in a fight that's essentially, I think, minus 110 across the board. I don't see why Weili should be a minus 165 favorite, coming off back-to-back losses in fights where she essentially got dominated. And Joanna, she's Joanna. She's gonna do what she does. She's gonna go in there and fight her fight. So I'm willing to take a shot on the dog here in a closely contested fight between the two. All right, we're up to our co-main event for the women's flyweight division championship. Flyweight championship between Valentina Shevchenko and Taila Santos. Right now, Shevchenko is a massive minus 630 favorite, the heaviest favorite on the card, and the comeback on Santos plus 450. Jimmy, do you think the upset is coming?
Man, no, to be honest. I mean, Valentino is a monster, dude. She's on an 8-fight win streak. She's finished 5 of her those 8 opponents. Her only losses are by decision, 1 split decision to Amanda Nunes. Some people thought she could have won, and that was at 135. So I know Santos is 9-1, but man, that one loss by split decision to a 10-5 opponent, and that was only 5 fights ago. She is only on a 4-fight win streak. So that doesn't mean she couldn't have prevailed too much from there. So I like Valentino. I know there's no money to be made there. I think she could get her done inside the distance, but unless you pick the round, it's probably going to be hard to make money on this fight.
Well, for her to win inside the distance is actually plus 130, which is not terrible, essentially.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, I might pick that up. We'll see. I'll have a long shot play. We'll see what that's going to be this week. But I mean, we've seen the world be shocked before. That's why we got another female Ultimate Fighter going on right now. And so Santos has nothing to lose. I think her only shot would to just go in there and give it hell and, kill or be killed. So,
yeah, I agree. I think that this will be a competitive fight until it isn't. The only thing is I can't help but feel that maybe Santos is getting a little disrespected here, not necessarily by the betting lines, but more so by the UFC. They're doing a really poor job marketing her. I think I've watched the first 2 episodes of Embedded, and she hasn't even been mentioned yet. For someone that's in a title fight for an upcoming pay-per-view, I feel like not enough people know who she is, and especially at this point in the game, it's going to eventually need to be handled on to this younger class of fighters, and I just feel like this is a very cool opportunity and good opportunity to rise her up a little bit, or add some more star power to this weight class. Obviously, I think Valentina's going to win. I do think she's going to win inside the distance. I don't know when. I mean, so that's a mystery. But yeah, that's all. That's all really I have for this one. No play, just enjoy the fight.
Yeah. I like Shevchenko here. I don't think Santos literally has a chance at all, to be honest with you. I think Shevchenko runs away with this. I mean, and also let's take a look at her body of work at 125 pounds. Like you said, she's 8-0. Her opponents have combined in those 8 fights, landed 174 strikes, significant strikes. That means that they are only landing 22 strikes against her per fight, which is insane. She's had 118 minutes of fight time in her time at 125 pounds. That means they are landing only 1.36 significant strikes per minute against her in 8 fights. That is absurd. She's been absolutely dominant in her time as flyweight champion. And Santos, she's looked good, but who has she beaten? She hasn't even beaten anybody in the top 5. There's a plethora of contenders she didn't even have to go through to get this title shot. So essentially, at 19-1, she's still very green. She hasn't really need to fight through adversity to fight someone at the level of Shevchenko. I don't think she's ready to fight someone on the level of Valentina Shevchenko. Not yet. She hasn't fought Viviane Araújo. She hasn't fought Jessica Andrade, Jennifer Maia, Caitlin Chukagian. Anybody in the top tier yet. And then she's fighting for the title. This is absurd. They just needed someone to throw in there as a sacrificial lamb. And then eventually, I think Shevchenko is she's gonna get the job done. She's gonna win by knockout. I like it by plus 200 by knockout. And then she's gonna move up and she's gonna fight Juliana Pena for the bantamweight champion, because I have Pena retaining her title against Nunez. That's right. I have her retaining the title against Nunez, and then she's gonna take it and she's gonna go and try to defend her title against Shevchenko, who's gonna come up and try to be the next double champ. Got it. She's coming. She's coming for that double champ status. I have a feeling she's going to do it, and I'm looking forward to it. All right. Let's move on to our main event.
Preach.
The light heavyweight title is on the line as Glover Teixeira looks to defend his title for the first time against the scary man, the scary karate style, this crazy man, Yuri Prochazka. Right now, Prochazka minus 200 as the challenger, and Teixeira plus 170 as a champion. Jimmy, who do you got?
Wow, that surprises me. And I mean, I know why everybody's on Yuri, but he's only 2-0 in the UFC. I know he's 28-3 altogether. But this guy has not seen past the second round since 2019. And he's fighting a guy that loves to take people down and grind them. And if he gets on top of them, I imagine he feels like a heavyweight for some reason, because like Yan, that's the one that really surprised me. But he has one loss to King Mo. That was the last time he lost, was to King Mo, and it was because King Mo used his wrestling. He did come back and beat King Mo. He lost to him in 2015, came back and knocked him out in the third round in 2019. That's the last time Yuri's seen the third round, so 3 years ago. So that's what worries me with Yuri, is if Glover does get the takedown. We know Glover, he's 16-5 overall in the UFC. The only 2 things I don't like about Glover is he got knocked out by Anthony Rumble Johnson in 13 seconds. Yes. And then he got knocked out by Alexander, but that was in the 5th round. So that was after he could have established himself on who he is, but he wasn't able to. So that's what worries me about him. He lost to Phil Davis a long time ago by decision, and he lost to John, of course, by decision. Also Corey Anderson in 2018, but that's another wrestler. So But so that means he's lost the strikers, he's lost the wrestlers. And I think if Yuri gets it done, he gets it done in round 1 or 2. Outside of that, I'm picking Glover. So I think Glover could submit him. So I like Glover by submission because that's what he's going to do. He's going to take him down and try to submit him. Honestly, I don't know who I'm probably going to pick until the day of, because right now I am leaning towards Glover. But then when I see that weigh in and I see that hair and I, how big he is, but I mean, I do not see it going to a decision. I see if Glover's going to do it, he's going to get it done. And I think Yuri is going to get it done. I don't know what the over under is. If it's probably going to be just like under a round and a half. Well, I don't know. What do you think the over under is? I think it's going to be under 3 guaranteed.
Well, I mean, most books will let you bet all over unders, but the one that's really on all books is the 1.5. Right now, the over 1.5 is -140, and the under 1.5 is +110.
Yeah. See, so if you're going for Yuri, I say you play that +110 and Yuri, and then Glover. I think anything after this. I mean, honestly, I might even be more confident once it hits the second round, unless he's getting pieced up the whole first round. So that is one of the toughest fights for me. But I think Glover gets it done. I'm going to say Glover gets it done by submission.
July 11th, 2020 was the day that Yuri debuted. And what's Saturday? Whatever the date is on Saturday,
June 11th.
That'll be the day that Yuri wins the belt. The dude is weird. The guy is an enigma. His body type is insane. His hair, it's just an interesting look. It's almost like they dug like a Cro-Magnon man out of the ground and taught him to fight. The guy is special. I love Glover. Obviously, he could get the sub, but I think Father Time is finally going to arrive, and he's coming with Yuri. The Yan fight surprised me as well. I had a huge parlay, and that one fucked me hard. But yeah, I just don't see that happening. I don't see lightning striking twice here for Glover. It was an amazing moment, and that's what it will remain. Unfortunately, he will not have 2 amazing moments. And Yuri's reign is upon us, my man.
Yeah, this is tough, but I feel like I gotta go with Yuri as well. I think the power will be the deciding factor. The unorthodox style of striking, it's very hard to match. I know Glover trains with extreme high level kickboxer and Alex Pereira, but it's not the same when you're going against such a crazy unorthodox striker like Yuri that has insane power that can knock you out with any limb on his entire body. And he's got a good chin. He's actually got knocked out from I think it was like an up kick or something like that, and then he somehow got right back up after getting knocked out. It was weird, but Yuri he's like I said, he's gonna be hard to game plan against. He's hard to really to match inside the octagon on the feet. And Glover's gonna have to find some type of way to get on the inside and while not getting clipped at the same time. And this being in the 30-foot octagon gives Yuri even more of a chance to be able to get away from the grappling of Glover. So it's really hard to take Glover at his age of 42 going against a serious power striker in Prochazka. And also, who has Glover really fought that has power recently during his run? Thiago Santos is not the same since his double ACL surgery. He hasn't had a knockout since. And then Jan's power is completely overblown because he hasn't knocked out anybody that doesn't, that has a chin on him. And, so the last time he really fought a power puncher was Rumble Johnson, and he got knocked the fuck out really quickly. So we'll see if Glover's chin's going to be able to hold up against Yuri here, especially at age 42. And I don't know. It's not something I'm extremely confident in. But I feel like I gotta take a shot on Yuri here. I think obviously he's had the higher ceiling. I feel like he's more marketable as well, being the younger fighter, the guy that's fresh on the scene, who's knocking out everybody, and and that heavyweight division is just, it's up in arms for really at this point. Anybody can be champion. You have Magomed Ankalaev that's coming up soon. Even Anthony Smith could have a shot at the title. I mean, without John Jones there, literally that title is going to be changing hands like it's nobody's business over the next 2-3 years or so until we get one dominant champion. And I really don't know who that's going to be at 205, but we'll see what happens there. But I'm taking Yuri, getting it done and getting his belt. Only 3 fights in, which is kind of crazy if you think about it.
Yeah, that blows my mind.
Right.
Well, after y'all two said it, you know what? I'm still picking Glover.
Well, that's what we got for this episode of The Breakdown. Jimmy, I appreciate you coming on here, breaking down fights with us, putting cash in everybody's pockets. But before we let you go, we need you to blast out your social media, let everybody know where they can find you so they can get that pre-order link when it's ready to go.
All right, y'all. On Facebook, just go into the search engine, type in www.thebrickmma.com. It takes you to my fan page. My personal Facebook, I am out of friend requests, so go to my fan page. If you go to Instagram, it's at The Brick MMA. If you go to TikTok, it's at The Brick MMA. And if you just like Twitter, I'm on there at Jimmy Flick. So the book, The Brick Wall, The Unbreakable Brick, it'll be out in 2022 for sure, just not for sure when.
I appreciate you, man.
Follow this man on TikTok. Follow this man.
Yeah, the flick pics and everything. I love what you're doing on TikTok, man. So you can keep it up, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all. We'll talk soon.
All right, man. We appreciate you. We'll talk soon, man. All right, have a good one.
Yeah.
All right, man. This is it. That's the end of the show.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm gonna need to make some more coffee. That was fantastic, dude. I really enjoyed, the Jimmy Flick, man. Holy shit. We just spent a whole hour with the man, the myth, the legend.
Jimmy Flick.
and I didn't even shit in his toilet yet. Anyway, yeah, Garrett, thank you for having me. Jimmy Flick, thanks for hanging out. That was fucking awesome. Yeah, if you guys want more of me, obviously just look me up, Jesse Hobson, everywhere, or I'll be hanging out with Jimmy Flick now, so I'll be up in Tulsa hanging out with him, or wherever he's at. Just let him know that I'm headed his way.
Absolutely, guys. You guys know where to find me. Fight Analyst on Facebook, Fight Analyst LLC on Twitter, and guys, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Fight Analyst. And we'll see you guys next time. We are out of here.